Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm here today with my co-host Sharon.
Hello.
Welcome to Hex Haven.
Welcome to Hex Haven, your favorite spot for spiritual discovery and crude language. We're excited to get started today. What are we going to talk about today, Heather?
I think we should talk about the spring Equinox Sacred Reset that we did with the Sisters Enchanted.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have anything else. No.
No, definitely. Let's talk about this.
Okay. I know we did this like months ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like a month ago now, I think.
Yes. March?
Was it March?
I think March.
I can't believe it's May 1st. But
I know.
So some algorithm in Facebook had suggested this to me, and I went on their website and I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is legit. Mm-hmm. And so then I had suggested it to you, and we decided we were going to sign up.
Yeah.
And I've never done anything like this before, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really, really did too. So the owners of the company are Sarah and Anna, and they're both sisters, and they have a full team behind them of really talented people too. And so the event was hosted online, and Sarah was leading the event, and then some of the other team members were like in the chat groups,
right? So answering questions,
yeah, exactly, and like providing links and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Did you ever do a live one? I didn't. I always had to join in, whether it was like 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. I always joined in late.
Yeah. So I did do the live one the first 2 days, and I definitely felt like I had to go back and rewatch. Because I was doing other things at work while I was listening the first time around. And I'm really glad I did, because I think in order to like get the most out of an experience like this that's hosted online, like you have to give it your full attention.
Absolutely. That was my thing, is I was at work too. So even though I was listening to it, I would go home at night and re-listen to it because, you know, you're not really giving it your full attention when you're working.
Right.
So,
yeah.
The whole reason for it was we all set New Year's resolutions or have goals that we often don't follow through with. So this was an event created to help you reset your energy and show you how to show up for yourself.
Right, yeah. Like reset your intentions, get you back on track with those New Year's resolutions.
And I really like Sarah's voice. It's
soothing.
It is. And I'm like, man, I wish my voice sounded like that. It's so soothing.
Yeah.
I
know. I remember on the first day she like gave out like a warning, and she's like, I'm going to be like a little harsh. And like, I was like, I found nothing that you said unpleasant at all.
I don't remember her saying that. I thought she was a delight.
She said, well, she was saying that like it's something that she feels like very strongly about. And that's, you know, she has a lot of passion for it. So she's going to talk with passion.
Right.
And good for her.
And I felt that passion. I didn't think it was harsh.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Her voice reminded me, like years and years ago, I had a yoga instructor that I just absolutely adored, and she had that very soothing voice, and it was so relaxing. And then she moved, and I'm like, man, I want you back. Why did you have to move to a different state? But there was 4 days. I enjoyed it from the first day. Like I knew when I completed the first day, I was like, oh my gosh, this is for me. So many things that she talked about really resonated with me as well. Like the way you just think of things. Like the one thing that she said to me that really, or not said to me, but said to us all.
Oh, she was saying it to you. She was talking She was talking to you.
I felt that connection with her.
Yeah.
But it was funny that she said society is obsessed with what we do as a mom and how we spend our time as a mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's so true.
It is, yeah.
And I've never really thought about it until this.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's not even just men, you know?
It's women.
It's women, too, because all women have this, like, expectation that is, like, preconceived from how we were raised as far as what is a proper woman.
Well, And I do it too. Like, I think of like, I was a mother of one, you're a mother of three. Sometimes I think, how the hell does Sharon do this? Like, how do you spend your time when you have 3 kids, a full-time job, a husband, a household to run, a side gig as a podcaster? I think that about you. I'm questioning what you do with your time.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard not to.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And like, you know, it's kind of like that double-edged sword as a woman, because especially if you're a mother, like, you're either doing too much or not enough of something. You're either working too much and not spending enough attention on your family, or you're spending too much time on your family and you don't deserve to have a career. I mean, it goes back and forth, and that goes for any kind of issue, you know?
Yeah.
But they're obsessed with what we're doing.
Yeah. I've never thought of it that way, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like, very eye-opening, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you never really hear about, like, wow, he works 50 hours a week. There's no way he's a good dad.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It would be like, he's a hardworking man and provides for his family. It'd be like, what? Wait, how...
Yeah, he worked all day and he still has, like, a little bit of energy left to give his kid a hug at the end of the day. You deserve a fucking cookie and a pat on the back, Matthew. Matter of fact, you just got a fucking promotion.
Right? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. No, day 1 was one of my favorite days. I think, first of all, it really, like, opened your mind as far as, like, things that you don't even realize that you already think, you know?
Yes.
And then it really, on day 1, we really dove into, like, asking yourself a question and then asking yourself more questions to get to, like, the true meaning of what you want to figure out.
Right.
You know?
And you had said that this was a method that you knew about or had used before, right?
Yeah.
And I've never done that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for me to really keep asking myself, keep challenging myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So mine, like, I think I did it with a bunch of different ones, but, like, I started with things like, I want to feel confident.
Okay.
And at the end of it, what I came up with was, I want to feel heard and seen.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was like the process from starting off thinking, like, this is how I desire to feel.
Right.
And then diving a little bit deeper, asking yourself questions to get to that, like, end result. It, like, helps you kind of understand your own mindset a little bit.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I thought of that because there was, you know, when I originally did it, I was kind of in a mood.
Yeah.
So my results were kind of negative.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I need to, like, refocus my energy and try to think more positive.
Right.
So I had to, like, challenge myself to think of a different way to ask myself the questions and a different way to answer them.
Right.
Without being, like, doom and gloom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I totally get that, man.
It was hard, but yeah. So day 2, it was all about, like, clearing your chakra. I learned that I need to work on self-trust and self-love. Those are pretty big for me.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought this was really interesting, the way that they kind of tied, like, a, let's say, like, self-related feeling to each of the chakras. And then I found that, like, I'm great with self-love, but I definitely don't trust myself.
Right.
And I think it's kind of weird to me that, like, I could score so high on, like, self-awareness, self-love, self-care even. Like, I'm great at self-care, but it really does kind of make sense when you actually sit down and think about it, because I second-guess myself.
Always I do.
Yep. And, like, really at the end of the day, I love myself, but I don't trust some of the thoughts that I have or some of the feelings that I have.
Right.
So it's like, it was kind of eye-opening to, like, understand that difference.
Sure. Yeah,
you know?
It was. Yeah, I'm like, oh, man, I'm a piece of work. This is what I'm realizing.
I was like, I have a lot of fucking work to do.
I know. I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't move on to any more days. I don't know. But I did, because I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that second guessing is huge.
Yeah.
Huge for me. That I definitely need to learn how to self-trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it comes too with, I don't know, I feel like all women are kind of like raised to not trust themselves. You know what I mean?
Like to seek acceptance from someone else.
We have to seek the answers from somebody else. We can't internally come up with the answers on our own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's hard to get out of that frame of mind.
It is. And I think it's something that, like, is not necessarily like you wake up one day and you're like, I got it. No. I think it's like a constant ongoing battle that we'll probably end up suffering with our entire lives.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Oh, God.
Well, and I know that you struggle with this as well, but having so many narcissistic relationships in your past, I think that kind of explains why both of us personally had self-doubt or self-trust as the lowest.
Yes. I grew up with a narcissist, so it wasn't really my choice. It wasn't like I was in a relationship with them. Like, I didn't choose them. They were a person in my family.
Yep.
So it is absolutely difficult to overcome, because when you're young, you're impressionable. That's when you're learning and absorbing, that's where you learn behavior and feelings, and you gain your self-esteem is in your adolescence.
Yeah.
And when
the proper way to respond to things.
Yeah. And when there's a narcissist in your home, it's very, very difficult to... Yeah.
Well, because they use manipulation tactics, and it makes you think that you are the problem, that you are the crazy one. Yeah. And I do it all the time where I'm like, I'll be upset about something, and then after like taking some time to think about it, it almost makes me feel worse at first, because I'll get upset about something, and then as I start to calm down, I'm like, well, was it really that big of a deal? Did I overreact? Am I the crazy one? You know what I'm saying? And that is something, like, I'm with a non-narcissist now, but I struggle with that even now, Yeah. And, I have to remind myself constantly, it's okay to have feelings. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to get sad. You're allowed to be annoyed.
Right.
You're not overreacting. You're allowed to express yourself.
Yeah, and my situation with my narcissist, I don't have any contact with them, but even...
in other relationships,
I can think of you and I work together, and our boss at the time would constantly say things to me like, oh, you're overreacting, and things like that. And I'm like, I'm not overreacting. And I knew I wasn't, but then that little piece of me is like, oh my God, am I?
Right.
Like, is it okay for my coworker to throw a stapler?
Right. Because the other issue...
maybe I am overreacting.
Right. And I think the other issue, too, that, kind of plays into that is, again, seeking that external validation. And we kind of prioritize seeking that versus internal validation and validating ourselves instead of seeking it out from other people. As much as I say, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, I do.
You do.
It's impossible not to.
Right.
And so it's
you definitely have thicker skin.
For sure.
It may not resonate with you as long.
Right.
But it's still, absolutely.
Yeah.
It still bothers you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think, too, it's a struggle, too, because I want to be liked. Mm-hmm. And I also don't ever want to offend anyone. Yeah. And I always want to be perceived as nice. So when someone says to me, you're overreacting, you're like, you're right, it must be me. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Mm-hmm. I want to be nice. But I wasn't overreacting. So it's hard for me to maybe vocalize how I feel and then stand by how I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
I would have to say day 3, it was all about inner knowing. Yeah. And I thought this was a really cool one. They had given us a picture of a tarot card. Yep. And they asked us, to look at it and see what the message was.
So it was, what kind of message could the card be trying to tell you? Yep. And then what kind of question could the card be asking you? Right. And then who am I today? So... Mm-hmm. And I thought it was super cool, the responses that we came up with.
Well, I think that's the best part about it. We both looked at the same picture, and we both had completely different answers.
Yeah. So for me, My message was, everything is tied to the moon and sun. We look to the universe for answers. And then my question was, are you listening to the signals the universe is sending you? And then under Who Am I Today, I wrote, I am a person who sees the signals but does not trust themselves to interpret them properly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, self-trust.
So, self-trust. So, here we go for me, right?
Yeah.
So, I saw it as howl at the moon more.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, why don't I? And then, what am I today? I'm a person who needs to rediscover and trust myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw it differently, but we came to the same conclusion, which is just so funny how, like, just in general, people's brains work in interpretation, right?
I know.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, this was my favorite day.
Really?
It was
Yeah,
the day that I
this.
think I learned the most about myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I liked every day, but this was one of my favorite days, too. I think the first day really... It was so impactful that it made you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because if the first day was
when it's an online
made
event,
an effort to do it daily.
That's the thing. When it's an online event, it's easy to be like, it's not for me.
Right.
We didn't pay anything for this.
Right.
But the way that they put this together was it was perfect. And it was like a building, like what you learn on day 2 builds on day 1.
Yeah.
What you learn on day 3 builds on the other 2 days. It was great.
It was really fantastic. Yeah, and the last day, day 4, was about resetting your energy. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't have like much notes about this day. And
Well,
it's been
I
so
know.
long. I don't.
Yeah. So
Maybe you can talk about your end of.
On day 4, like, we went into a lot about, like, how things are tied to the elements.
Like earth, air,
fire,
water.
and water.
Yep.
Yeah. So we really kind of focus on one of the specific elements, and then I'm trying to remember how they kind of led us into it, but what I do know is that we came up with 3 separate categories of, like, thoughts or, like, prompts for us to write down. Mm-hmm. So the first one was the thoughts I think. And I wrote, I make time to understand others' perspectives. Do you have yours? Did you write anything on that? The second category was the words I speak, and I wrote, I would love to know more about your thoughts on that subject. And then the third one was the reality I create, and I wrote, open-mindedness, a person who listens actively to understand, not to judge. I really don't remember too much about day 4, unfortunately. I think I was still so, like, caught up on day 3.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I agree. I really like day 3. But, yeah, I think each day there was a little spell of the day. Mm-hmm. And then if you submitted the spell of the day, when you were all done with the course, they sent you a PDF of, like, a journal, right?
Yeah, it was a chakra journal.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I have it. I printed it out. And,
I printed it, too. Mm-hmm.
I figured I would just kind of, look at it when I have a little bit of time, and, like, because it was pretty big. It's not like it was just 3 or 4 pages. It was a 20-page thing. And
there was even, like, when you signed up for the event, there was a bunch of different material that they had created that you were able to, like, download and print and explore.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I think this was delightful. We had encouraged, we have like a group of friends that are very like-minded, and we had encouraged some of them to partake in it, and I wish they would have, and no one did.
I know.
And I was like, really? So maybe when I see something again from them that's free.
So I've noticed that they are doing a lot, and I don't know if it's because now we're on their mailing list and stuff, but since we did our free workshop, they have offered 2 other free workshops.
Yeah, the Lunar Intentions, and now there's another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And they also offer, like, full-on semester-long coursework. They have a holistic witchery course, I think, is their most popular. That's what they promoted at the end of the free workshop.
Oh, yes. And I know, so at the end of the free workshop, you and I were both like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But then when we realized it's really like a college course.
It's a college course, but you can't get financial aid for it.
Right. But as much as we both want to do it, it just doesn't it's not something we would accomplish in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be successful if we were only doing a little bit every few months.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
So someday, if we ever have a time, I would definitely take the course 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember afterwards, we both were like, these women we would learn from. We would go on to continue to learn from. They were knowledgeable. They were smart. They were funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
They were really kind. Even when I emailed them, because I wanted to make sure it was okay that we talked about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're saying anything bad, but still, I mean, a business to a business.
Common courtesy.
Yep. And they were really
professional
nice.
courtesy.
And
yep.
they were, you know, they responded and they were kind. And man.
We'd love to have you guys on.
Yes, we would.
Come on the podcast. Let's have a fun conversation.
And they have a podcast that I started listening to.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yes, I didn't tell you about this.
No.
Yes. Not to be weird or creepy, but I really like Sarah's voice.
Yeah.
It's very, very soothing. The Stay Magic podcast.
The Stay Magic podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
I am. Can you get it on Amazon and Spotify and all those?
I have no idea. I just know I have an iPhone and I have like.
You have it on like Apple Podcasts?
I have podcasts. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are only like 20 minutes.
I'm going to check that out because I will say I have. Excuse me. I'm going to check it out because I've downloaded a couple different like witchy or holistic style podcasts, and I cannot find one that just like sticks with me, with the exception of the girls from Two Girls, One Ghost. I haven't found anything that I can like stick with that I like.
So I definitely like this podcast for sure. So
Awesome.
Definitely check out the sistersenchanted.com. They have lots of things for free to offer. So you can dip your toes in it, see how much you really like it. I mean, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. And then definitely dive into their podcast. I love it. I tend to listen to it if I'm just kind of like, and it just... Because I listen to a lot of true crime and spooky stuff.
Sometimes you need a palate cleanser.
That can get in your head
Absolutely.
and can affect your mood. And honestly, I turn it on because it uplifts me and enlightens me and makes me feel different.
You know what? That's what it is. That I really liked about the Sisters Enchanted from the get-go is their main focus seems to be personal growth and wellness,
right?
And positivity. You know. I really liked how, like, she was encouraging everybody to, like, be tough on themselves, but also, like, be nice to themselves.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, I agree. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
I want to do more stuff of theirs. I do too. I want to take one of their courses or something, but that'll be long term. We're going into summer now. I can't even figure out my calendar most days. So,
Yeah, summer is a busy time.
It is. I can't wait, though.
Sunshine. That's because we live in the fucking Midwest. So it's like we get like 3 months of sun. We have to soak it up all we can.
Right? This is so true. So I will be outside for the next 3 months.
Yep, pretty much. Like immediately my calendar, I think I have like 6 different camping trips this summer. And we haven't even scheduled ours.
I know. And, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was like, well, can I have the boys this weekend? And she's like, oh, well, I have this going on. How about this weekend? I'm like, oh, I can't because I'm camping, and I'm doing this, too. And, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, I'll just take them when I can.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you, the Sisters Enchanted. We really enjoyed you.
Thank you.
And our listeners, please go show them some love.
Yeah.
Go sign up for a course.
Finally, don't forget to drink your water and mind your own fucking business.
Oh, absolutely.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
This episode of Hex Haven was recorded at the K-Town Connects podcast studio.